Food insecurity is a big issue during the pandemic. This just isn't stemming from just finances or limited access to food itself. Limited access to transportation also plays a part. But one local farmer tells us during the pandemic, they've still been able to provide food, and he wants locals to know that farms right here in the valley are a resource. And keeping it local is not only good for people in the community, but our economy too.
Food security to us means a relationship with local farmers that essentially allows us to grow food for you, and you know that we're always here. Next crisis, we're still growing food. We still have food, and we still can give food to our members. So we were giving out meat, for example, the entirety of the overall COVID crisis. Never slowed down, never stopped, but it's because we have the animals here on our land.
To learn more about food insecurity and the new compost service that Duncan Farms is offering, visit rocketcitynow.com.